Quick video. I just wanted to cover my experience doing the 3-week Smolov Junior program, which I just completed last week. Doing the bench press. Uh, with the Smolov Junior, there's always like a lot to say at the end of the training cycle because, well, I always overhype it. I always get results out of it, and so I just wanted to share what I learned from doing the program, and hopefully you can learn something from out of this video as well. If not, well, it'll just be me yapping, talking about this program regardless, because I feel like I wanted to share my experience anyhow, so here we are. So, where should we begin? The Smolov Junior, it is as I mentioned, a 3-week program specifically designed for the squat, but it can also be used for the bench press, which is what I have used up to this point 3 times now in a row. The first time I used it was in 2016 when I had barely any knowledge of powerlifting. I probably didn't even know what powerlifting was at the time. Just wanted to increase my bench press strength, which at the time was only 75 kilos, my 1 rep max. I don't know what that is in pounds, but that's equivalent to about less than a plate and a half each side. So not really strong. And at the time I was already kind of into the gym as well, kind of familiar with the bench press movement, the accessories that come with it. So let's say around maybe a year or two of just casual gym experience. So that was the first time, I guess, that I tried something that was remotely challenging. As for the Smolov Junior, it was extremely challenging, I have to emphasize. Not that I knew what I was getting myself into, but I managed to survive at the end of that program at the time, and I really liked doing it. I liked the results that came out of it, and I ended up doing it again in a couple years' time. Maybe it was last year. Did it again last week. So at the time when I first did it, I wanted to do this program, once a year, because the first time I did it, sure, I got the results that was expected, but it also led to some implications of just shoulder injuries. Not something serious, not a serious shoulder injury, but I did have some shoulder discomfort the first time running the program. So I just resolved to trying to keep the program run once a year, just so I can mentally prepare for it, physically prepare for it as well, just so I can give my body some rest, because it's a demanding program. But from my experience, the last week, that's not really the case, so long as you approach it smartly, so long as you approach it controlling all the variables that you set at the beginning of the program. And at that point, you just trust in the process, go through with it. It's only 3 weeks, and after that, you will relish in some great reward out of that. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the variables that changed this time around, which I think this is definitely the most smoothest cycle that I've ran with Smolov Junior, and I will discuss what I changed since then. But let's start first with what the Smolov Junior is all about. So the Smolov Junior is a 3-week program, like I've mentioned already 3 times, but the way it's structured is that it's a high intensity, high volume type of protocol where you are constantly doing the specific exercise that you set very frequently. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, frequently. So for example, you can see on the website how it's structured, but I can explain it briefly here. For the 3 weeks that you're gonna set to do it, you'll have 4 working days each week for that specific exercise. So for example, the bench press, you'll start on a Monday. It is a 6x6, so already that is kind of a slightly tougher abbreviation of the 5x5. You're doing 6 sets of 6 reps with a weight that's quite challenging to the point where it should feel like an RPE 7, 8, hopefully not 8, but it does feel like an 8 if you just look at the program based on just looking at it. It would look like an RPA 8, but as you do it, it becomes kind of easy if you approach it seriously. So yeah, Monday 6x6, Tuesday's rest, Wednesday is a 7x5. So as you go down in the week, this number of sets increase and the number of reps decrease, but the weight increases to the end of the week as well. So it gets challenging to the very end of the week, and you will repeat that the following week and then the week after. So 7x5 Wednesday, Thursday's rest, Friday is an 8x4. Again, more sets, less reps. The following day, so that was a Friday, the following day it would be a Saturday. So the very next day you will be doing a 10x3. So already just by looking in the first week, it's a really highly intensive program. And for anyone that has worked out for a generous amount of time would know that they fear that it might be overtraining. But do keep in mind, this program highly suggests for you to stick to doing that specific compound movement, limiting yourself to that specific compound movement, and really tone down the accessories. So just to give you ample time enough to recover for the next workout. So you don't want to be doing you don't want to be supplementing with dumbbell presses or inclined dumbbells, chest flies, the typical bodybuilding type workout. You just want to focus on the bench press if that is what you're after. Running the program in the first place. You wanted to increase your strength in a certain specific exercise, and for bench press, if you want to excel in that, then you'll have to strictly follow the program as it is suggested. So you'll have to, just focus on bench press and throw out all the other those unnecessary accessory movements, and you will be set. You will not fail the program, as many have running it for the first time, like a couple of friends that have told me. When I first ran the program, they were pretty surprised at the results, but without me knowing, they ran the program out of curiosity that they wanted to increase their bench press too. And only years later did I find out that they told me that they did try the Smolov Junior, and they failed within a week or two. They didn't go through with it. They said, what did they say? They lost motivation, or it was just too out of their schedule. They weren't flexible enough to follow the program strictly. And well, whose fault is that? And you know who you are if you're watching this video. But if you're gonna follow a program, follow it strictly if you want it to work, okay? Because a program will not work if you change it up, So, and that is, by changing up, that would be to, change the set days for the program, or adding accessory, useless movements that will affect your recovery. So it's all about following the program as it is prescribed. So what was I talking about? So so that's how the 3 weeks will be. It's going to be that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And the following week, it's the same rep scheme, same sets, except you increase the weight by 5 kilos for all of them. And the following week after, you increase by another 5 kilos on top of that. So by the end of the 3 weeks, you would be using 10 kilos more than the weight you were using the first week. And if you look at the very last workout of the Smolov Junior, the 10x3 on the 3rd week, it's going to be, once you input your estimated 1 rep max, your true 1 rep max, sorry, It's going to calculate what weight you're going to use for each workout. It's all on the website. You can check it out. But yeah, when you do that, when you check it out, the week 3, day 4, 10 by 3, you'll see a weight that's really close to your 1 rep max. And you're going to think to yourself, there's no way, this is impossible. I can't do this workout because I simply can't do that heavy amount of weight for that kind of rep scheme, that 10 by 3. You're gonna think that to yourself, and because that was definitely what I thought when I first did the program. But as I said, if you stick to it as strictly as possible, do what you can outside of the gym to assist you with your workouts throughout the end of the program, you will get the strength enough to do that very last day. So it's all about trusting the process. So yeah, that's basically what the Smolov Junior is, or how it's structured. So what next should I talk about? Let's talk about my experience. The first time running it, the second time, and the third. Actually, I kind of already briefly talked about it. How the first week. Actually, let's start here. The first week when I first did the program, I thought it was relatively easy moving out from a typical bodybuilding type workout. So when I did the 6x6 bench press that first day, I thought, oh wow, that was really easy. Maybe I should do some accessories. Obviously, I followed the program strictly anyhow, so I refrained from doing any accessory movements. So I literally walked up to the gym, did my 6x6. I didn't even know what to do after that. I was like, should I just go home or not? I think I did some squats after that, just like some light hypertrophy. Random accessory movements that do not directly impact the body the body part that you're working. So for example, if you're doing the Smolov Junior with the bench press, you want to avoid any accessories at all, or don't do it at all if you can, or if it's too much volume for you, related to the chest. So that could be yeah, your chest press, even the delts, laterals. Or you could do laterals as accessories if it's lightweight, just to get some blood flow into the shoulders. Always good to get some blood flow. But yeah, I'd completely avoid anything related to the chest or even the front delt. So the accessory movements I'd limit myself to I'd have a choice with would be lower body movements, so squat, deadlifts, whatnot. That's how I do my other compounds, or at least how I try to. I would do lat pull downs, pull-ups, back accessories, biceps, maybe not biceps, maybe not triceps at all either, because they're kind of related to they're kind of used in the bench press as well. So I might do those, but probably best not to, just so you can make sure you can survive the rest of the program. But yeah, that's how my workouts look like at the time. I even had a tennis ball massage my shoulder. That's how I warmed up. That's how I cooled down as well. So I thought at the time I really controlled everything. I followed it as strictly as I could at the time, and I'm pretty impressed that for how much I really focused on following the program. How many times have I said that? But even at that point, by the end of the third, second week comes, I thought it was challenging. The third week as well, when that came around, it got like pretty damn tough. And at the time, when I thought I did what I could, it still wasn't enough. So that's why I set myself to do the program once a year, because of that. Because I had like a lot of shoulder mobility discomfort after doing the program, and it really set me back a couple weeks maybe to really go heavy again. I was doing a lot of hypertrophy movements in the meantime while I was waiting for myself to fully recover. So you don't want that. And I knew that coming into the second time around when I reattempted it last year. I feel like I controlled it a little better. But one mistake that I did was I also simultaneously ran the Smolov Junior with squats. So I somehow maneuvered the two programs in a way that I can do them simultaneously. So it would look like something like, I think I did a video on this last year either as well, just a voiceover on my plan on how I did that. Didn't work out really too well. It did work in the end. I did get some strength gain, but I will never reattempt that again. Maybe if I find new ways to better approach it, but at this point, not at the moment. Better to just focus on one body part or exercise with the Smolov Junior. So you don't want that. You want to also maximize your recovery and really you want to really focus 75% of the time on your bench press or squat, whatever it is you're programming for Smolov Junior. So that's how it was coming into the second time around. I did not leave that program unscathed though. So I mistakenly followed the end of that program with a deload week, a complete deload. I'm not sure why I did that. I think I just wanted to set that day where I max out on a Saturday so I can do it with the boys. So I completely rested that entire week all the way, from Sunday, that whole week, just down to Saturday, and then, did the max out. And I don't think that was the most smartest way to approach the final max out, following a Smolov Junior protocol, which I think I figured out this time around, the third time around, but I'll get to that. Anyway, back to that second time around, followed with a deload week, maxed out. So by deload, I mean I did not go to the gym, complete rest, just at home, going to work, whatnot. Did not exercise. Went to the gym Saturday, maxed out with the boys. It was all fine and dandy. Got a 10 kilo PR on each exercise, on each lift. So on the bench, managed to get my bench up from 100 to 150. Oh no, it was 110. Yeah, 110. And my squat from 120 to 130. So it wasn't that big of a jump. Still quite a decent jump considering it's only a 3-week thing. So actually, if you count the deload week, that's 4. So definitely not the best way to follow up after the end of a Smolov cycle. So that's one mistake I did my second time around with the Smolov Junior. But let's talk about the third time around, which was just last week, which I believe is, as I said, it was the smoothest, most successful attempt at the program. So what I changed differently, here we go. Firstly, I added a couple new things doing this program that I didn't do in the others. One thing was creatine. So creatine, it's a supplement you can use to enhance your performance in the gym naturally, of course. Stay natty. And it was something that I didn't start using until last year. It's an amazing supplement. You just feel a lot more stronger. You get like a lot of water retention in your muscles, giving you that extra strong feeling. Say if it's placebo or not, but I feel like it works. So I did creatine. I took it daily, 3 grams, just 3 grams, not 5, as it says on the bottle. Only because I'm just concerned keeping my creatinine levels low, because I had a blood test that showed that my creatinine levels were high due to a high creatine consumption. So kept it at 3 grams. It's enough to get me that extra little edge in the gym. So creatine, added creatine to this program. Also, diet wise, in the past I did eat a lot enough that my weight would increase by 3 kilos by the end of 3 weeks. 3 kilos, that's a lot of weight gain. And I can't even say that it's solely due to the fact that I wanted to eat a lot just so I can be able to get my workout, like complete the workouts set for me, but also just because it's high intensity, high volume, you become naturally hungry. So it's a win-win, I guess. So as you do the program, you just get hungry naturally and you just eat like a truckload. Um, yeah, but really, every time I ran the program, I've always gained like 2 to 3 kilos. So, and this time is no different. So, but with the diet, not only did I eat a lot, but macro wise, it was more balanced. I had way more protein this time around every day, um, which will which assists in muscle recovery, which is what you're after, so you can make your workouts more as easy as possible, so to say. Um, but yeah, never followed a really high protein diet uh, that I really tracked as I like I did in the past. Like in the past, I thought I already had I was one of those guys that called my like identified as like a hard gainer, or someone that said like, oh yeah, I eat a truckload but I don't gain weight. That's bullshit. Like, you can gain weight if, like, just count your calories, and you have you have to be above your caloric maintenance. And like, no matter what you say, if you're not gaining any weight but you're saying you eat like a truckload, you're not eating enough, obviously. And that's this is coming from someone that once said that as well about myself. So once I actually started counting my calories, I realized it actually wasn't up to scratch. It was below what I needed to fuel myself in the gym. So yeah, had my calories in a surplus. Um, I tracked my protein this time around, making sure it was at least 150 grams a day, or 140, something like that. So that was enough for me. Um, so yeah, creatine, protein. What else was there? I guess the warm-ups. Yeah, following the second, third week, I really felt it a little bit in my shoulder again. So I made sure to warm up like 5-10 minutes, one of those stick like rotations around your shoulder joint and whatever, prior to doing the bench press. And yeah, that does help a lot too. Just get your shoulders all warmed up before you do the heavy lifts. So obviously, yeah, you got to warm up properly. What else was there? I feel like there was more. Creatine. I did take pre. I started taking pre-workout. Not every workout I had to use it. I was using pre-workout just on the Saturday where I do the 10x3, because this time I'd still be fatigued from the prior day of the 8x4, so I had to get some pre in me so I just be able to complete the workout as easy as possible. I wanted to try and keep every single workout at max an RPE 9, but I wanted to keep it like below an RPE 8. And surprisingly enough, that's how it went throughout the whole 3 weeks. It never really went to RPE 9, I would say, only once, and that was I think the second week, the 10x3 on the second week. That was an RPE 9, and I was a little worried pursuing the following week, knowing that was an RPE 9, because otherwise, if you have like an RPE 9 too early on, there's a high chance that you're gonna fail in the later weeks. So I was a little worried, but for some reason, luckily enough, the following week, the 10x3 actually happened to turn out to be an RPE 8.5. So the RPE went lower despite the weight going higher. So that was a really good sign. And I feel like also what had to do with that was the diet. Also, as I mentioned, as I said, I did not take pre every workout, but I did start taking gummies, and that's pretty much basically like pre. Like, it works just about as effectively, in my opinion. Just take it intra workout. Gives you like a little sugar energy boost to fuel you throughout the end of the workout. So, gummies, underrated. Oh, another thing. the things I changed this time were creatine, protein, high protein diet, the warm-ups, and rest. So you hear this a lot where people say to build muscle, you got to work out, go to the gym, eat a lot, and sleep. People tend to ignore the basics there. Like, people know that that's how you build muscle and strength or whatever, and how you recover from the gym, but people don't really take it seriously. Like, they'd still sleep like 6 hours, 5 hours a day, and then they come to the gym next day feeling fatigued, and the workout's not as good as it used to be, their pumps aren't as good as it used to be, and they blame some other external factor, saying like, oh yeah, maybe I need a deload or things like that. But they don't look at the fact that they did not get enough rest. So really prioritize rest. I feel I this time around I did rest to the best of my ability when I was outside of the gym. So I get 8 hours sleep, and if I was especially tired, I'd take naps in the day as well. So I really prioritize rest and diet this time around. And if you focus on those two things, you'll find that the workouts actually tend to feel a little easy, actually. And that's why I said this program was run a little smoothly this time, because I changed those variables, and I feel like I can actually rerun the program anytime soon, to be honest. Oh, lights out. What the hell? I'll turn on the engine real quick. All right, there we go. Where was I? Okay, change variables. So I think that's all I did this time around with the program. I'm gonna do the same when I reattempt it in the future, and I do still expect to see some good results out of that, because I am highly faithful in the Smolov Junior. It's always worked for me in the past. It's been working for me even right now. So definitely one of my favorite programs when it comes to powerlifting, or in terms of increasing the bench, actually, because there are a few programs out there that okay, actually, here I didn't talk about this, but because the Smolov Junior focuses so much on one lift, the others kind of tend to suffer. So that's one thing that powerlifting coaches or whatever would tell you, would not recommend for you to run, because, well, it'd be better to run a program over the course of like a long term, so you can get a good sustained strength gain throughout, like something that would stay I'm not saying like the strength gain won't stay with you running the Smolov, but a more safer, efficient way to gain strength is over the course of like a long term. So that's why obviously you don't see people running these short miracle type workouts, because of that reason. So knowing that, running this Smolov Junior for my bench this time round, I wanted to not only focus on the bench, but I did try to get in some sessions where I would do the squat and deadlift. Turns out I didn't really do it that much, actually. Throughout the 3 weeks, I did deadlift once. I think it was like on a Friday or something. Like, it was like the third week as well, like towards the end of my program. So I didn't realize it at that point, when I thought to myself that I was actually trying to prioritize, not prioritize, but slide in some more accessory movements for my lower body. I did do a couple squats, some SSB squats, and I feel like that's what affected me not running much deadlifts, because I was focusing more on the squat or squat accessory type of movements. So but despite that, I did get some strength from for my deadlifts, even having not doing any deadlifts throughout that duration. It was a 15 kilo PR. I just randomly sent it, but I feel like it's not the fact that I took such a long time off from deadlifts that I got that strength. I don't know where I came from. I feel like maybe it's just solely based on the fact that I gained 3 kilos, so I had like a lot of better bracing, that type of stuff. So yeah, somehow got some strength out of that. So no complaints here. But yeah, if you talked about this with a powerlifting coach, they would probably not recommend you running the Smolov Junior. It's just a program that's just too high intensive, high frequency, high volume. It's high everything. And I guess they'd want the best. They'd want to approach their clients with in the safest manner possible, but also being able for them to get sustained strength throughout a long term. So that's why small loaf juniors, I feel, is kind of died down in these modern times. So yeah, what else is there? I feel like I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about. Maybe. One last thing. The second time I ran it around, right? I mentioned the deload. It's not mentioned there on the website how you'd want to follow up the end of a Smolov Junior program. Actually, they just tell you to, yeah, send it, but they don't tell you like when to specifically send it. Like, is it 2 days after the 10x3 of week 3? Is it 3, 4? How many days after do you not go to the gym? They don't tell you these things, and that's where I felt lost following the second time around. I just didn't know how to deload or work up to that 1 rep max attempt. I feel like I got it down this time. I got it down. So after the third week, that 10x3, obviously you're going to rest. You want to prioritize rest, but you don't want to rest to the point where you lose the technique of that lift, because you will soon kind of, you will feel some kind of rustiness if you take like a really prolonged time off the gym, as I did the first time, that 1 week deload. It's not on. So instead, I didn't do a deload this week in order to rest. I tapered. It's one of the things I tried new this time. I haven't really tapered anything before in this way. So how I did it was, it wasn't a complete week of rest. I'd have one day Wednesday. So okay, so Saturday ride 10x3. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I didn't gym. Well, I did legs, I guess, but I didn't gym for the bench. Yeah, yeah, I did my squats and deadlifts and whatnot, but it wasn't until Wednesday where I did bench again. And with this, I kind of experimented a bit. So what I did was, the thing with tapering is, it's a good method to not only give you ample time to rest for that 1 rep max, but it will also prime your mind, prime your body to physically and mentally prepare itself. I don't know how a body can mentally prepare itself, but mentally prepare itself for that day, for that big day at the end of the week. So you want to still use heavy weights, but at a lower volume, and by that I mean lower sets, lower reps, and singles. You want to do heavy singles. I think that's my approach following the taper. I got cut off, ran out of storage. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. But as I was saying, the taper, you want to do heavy. What I did heavy singles. I worked up close to my previous 1 rep max before I did the program, so it'd be around 95%, 97% of your 1 rep max. You'll do it for a single set. It won't be too hard because you already gained like a lot of strength throughout the end of the program. For me, when I did that 97%-ish attempt of my 1 rep max that day for my taper, it was honestly an RPE 6. It was easy, dude. So on top of that, I also tried this method by this 11 times world champion powerlifter. She was a woman. I saw like a couple videos. This technique, it's basically a static hold. So what I did was, it's a bench for the bench press, for the static hold, right? So I would load a weight. What she uses is 120% of her 1 rep max. So for me, 120% of my 1 rep max, which was at the time 127 kilos, it would be like around 150 kilos. I didn't use that. I just used 140 kilos, which is a weight that I wanted to hit for my new 1 rep max attempt, but I wasn't certain I could hit it because it might be a little, sorry, too heavy. My planned 1 rep attempt at the end of that week would be, I would have been happy with 132.5, a 5 kilo increase. I would have been happy with. But I thought at the time, if I could hit 140, then I'd want to feel how it, I want to feel what kind of, how it feel, how do I say this? I wanted to feel how it feels on my wrists, just holding it up in front of me. So that's what I did. It's a static hold. I'll show it here in the, like, right next to it. But basically how you do it is, it's a 10-second, 15-second-ish, however long you want it, hold just above your chest. So get someone to unrack it for you safely. Get someone to count for you as well, so they'll count down for you, so you just don't, you know, you can fully focus on like holding the weight above you, and you literally just lock out your arms, just hold it for 10 seconds. That's what I did. It was really easy, actually, the holding the 140 above me. I could have gone for 15 seconds, but I told him, you know, 10 seconds, good enough for me. So, or I could have increased it to 150 even. So but basically, the science behind this static hold, according to this 11-time world champion, is basically to neurologically prime your body to, yeah, feel the weight on your it's on your joints. Your whole muscle is all statically flexed in an isometric hold, and what that does is, yeah, it literally just primes your body to feel that weight. And if you, and oh man, I lost my marbles, bro. Hold up. Yeah, literally just to prime your muscles. It's a good way to taper, I guess. That's what I did for this taper. So I worked up to my 1 rep max, but I also did a 10-second hold of a weight that was far beyond what I thought I was capable of at the time, and just held it there. Quite easy, actually, but that's what I did. That's how I tapered. I rested the Thursday, Friday, and came back to the gym on Saturday and hit the 140 kilo PR. So it was a 12.5 kilo increase, and I was really happy with the results. It was more than I expected, and I feel like the most important lead up to that 1 rep max attempt was the taper. So the taper is important to. All right, I got caught off again. I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about regarding the program. I feel like I've said all that I wanted to say. But if there's anything that I wanted to add, maybe I'll add it in the description or something, or in the comments. Or if you have any questions, ask as well. I think that's it. Just happy with the results. I will probably reattempt it after doing some hypertrophy switch over. Maybe I'll hit the Smolov Junior again in maybe a month or two time. Until then, we shall see. This video is probably like 30 minutes long, 35 maybe, if I don't cut anything out, but I don't know if I can cut anything out, actually. But I kind of always get off topic. I was on topic, but like I just tend to talk a lot. I don't know, but anyways, that was it. Yeah, if you want to try the program, give it a shot. Just follow the advice that I give, and maybe some advice that you see on other sites on how to approach the program, and you should be sweet. Bench more than your friends. Okay, catch you later.